Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, and I'd like to start by saying Happy Holidays. Or whatever. That's right, I'm going the full Orange Cassidy this year. My hair was actually supposed to be green and red for Christmas, but the dye's kind of faded over the last few days. Anyway, today I'm doing a special holiday unboxing video, including some of my actual Christmas presents. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. First up, I am so excited. I've complained in my last video about how I'm all alone down here now, but not anymore. I finally got the AEW Wrestling Buddies. These things are absolutely incredible. There's two others, Cody and Kenny, but I got Darby and Luchasaurus, two of my favorite AEW wrestlers. These things are awesome. Not only are they just like those old WWF Wrestling Buddies like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior from back in the day, but guess what? They make noises! I think it's actual recordings. So, and
you think you got what it takes to step in the ring with a dinosaur?
And when you put them down, it counts 3. That is way too cool. So, yeah, I'm gonna take these out of the box and put them here on the couch so I now have some friends down in the basement again. Alright, so we got Luchasaurus over on this side, and it looks like he's reaching for the AEW World Championship. And we got Darby Allin brooding over in this corner. This next thing I don't actually have to unwrap. It is a Pickle Referee that I'm gonna put in the ring, and he's gonna be reffing all my matches until I get a referee action figure. So, pretty self-explanatory. It's just a beanbag kind of pickle, and he's in a ref costume, so there you go. Alright, in one of my previous unboxing videos, I opened up a couple of these things. I believe these are called WWE Beast Modes, and you basically break this chain on the side and unlock these beasts. Basically what they are is a tiny minifigure of a wrestler with an outer casing that kind of displays their personality. So for example, last time I got Finn Balor in a demon and Braun Strowman in a bull or beast. So looks like we can get things like The Rock, Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch, or Undertaker. So let's crack these open and see what we got. Alright, so inside is a paper crate, so we can kind of... What do we get? Well, it appears to be a unicorn, so that could be nothing else but Big E! Come on, camera, focus. Anyway, you'll have to trust me. That's Big E. He's in a unicorn body. Let me put that front back on there, so you can kind of see. He's rocking that unicorn casing. And it's got this flowing cape on it and everything. It's really cool details, actually. Especially the figures. They look really cool. They got a couple of articulations on the head, waist, and shoulders. So you can move them around a little. Definitely like these things. I just very rarely see them. Alright, number 2. Break the chain. Whoop. And, oh, it's purple. It's the Undertaker. Looking at this Series 2 pamphlet, it appears all of the New Day are unicorn warlords, and the Undertaker here is Dead Man Walking, and he appears to be a skeleton with fire hands. Getting a lot of Ghost Rider vibes with this. So let's crack it open. And sure enough, ooh, he's got like an old school look to him with the kind of gray gloves. So there you go, that's the Undertaker in his purple dead man walk-in casing. So I'll probably end up putting these up on one of the shelves along with the other two that I got, and keep my eyes on the lookout for some more, because I do like these. One other note, those things are also pretty cheap. They're only a couple of dollars, so for what you get, I think they're worth it. Okay, next up, I finally got one of these WWE Toy Belts, specifically the one that takes side plates. And not only does it take the side plates, but it comes with 2 sets of side plates, Drew McIntyre and The Fiend. I actually already have Drew McIntyre plates, but I love The Fiend, so that's really cool. Before I crack it open, here are all the plates I currently have. I have one single Drew McIntyre side plate. I have a single Seth Rollins side plate. I have 2 Uso side plates. I have a Matt Riddle side plate. And I have an AJ Styles side plate. So now, let's let this thing breathe. And here it is. As you can see, there are holes in the side plates so that you can pop those things out. Those side plates, by the way, as you can see with this Fiend one, there's a little peg on them because they can be used as stands for your action figures. And these particular ones that came with the belt also have the WWE logo on the other side, so you can kind of reverse them. If I hold up the belt here, they recommend you kind of slip it in from the bottom. Oh. And then they kind of clip into place. We'll take the other one and put the Fiend on here. Boom, boom, boom. And then you can be the champ. And now you can close it, and I'm not sure if that'll actually fit around me, but whatever. Slip it over the shoulder, and there you go. Now I can be WWE Champion too. Not that I want to be, because they suck. But I actually have something to put all those side plates on now. That's pretty cool. And this thing was fairly cheap for what it was. I picked it up out of Big Lots. And that's going to do it for the merchandise portion of this video. Now we're going to take it over to the photo booth and open up some action figures for part 2. Here we are over at the photo booth with our first figure and my first Masters of the WWE Universe figure, the demonic red machine Kane. This is apparently, if you look at the bottom there, highly articulated for power posing. Let's take a look at this packaging. It's just as ridiculous as you would hope for with, a kind of He-Man look to it. We got these skull posts on the side, kind of mimicking the ring that I have, so I will get to put him in that cool Masters of the WWE Universe ring. On the back here, apparently this includes a collector's booklet. Rebuilt in Hellfire and Brimstone, the man once known as Kane is now cyborg powerhouse known as the Big Red Machine, come to destroy all of WWE Eternia. Over here, it looks like he's gonna come with a gun that shoots flames, appropriate. And it looks like the rest of the collection includes Goldberg, the heroic human jackhammer, Stephanie McMahon, the evil billion-dollar Skull Queen, and Ultimate Warrior, the heroic champion of WWE Eternia. Anyway, let's let it breathe. Let's start by checking out this collector's booklet. It appears to basically just be a really small comic. We got Undertaker, Stephanie McMahon, and Kane on the outside. Apparently Kane can lift up mountains, or boulders at least. Here's a little blurb about him. And yeah, a little comic strip. all about his battles with his brother, The Undertaker. Pretty nice little accessory. Here is the gun and the fireball. And when you put them together, it looks like that. But here's what we all came for. Here's the figure of Kane. Interesting fact, Kane was always my favorite growing up, and it looks like he is a cyborg, so he's got all kinds of veins that are metal and tubes and wires. I do like all the detailing on that. I also like his eyes. As you can see, they're kind of yellow. And I think with the hair, they were going with like a fire look. So that's pretty cool. He stands up pretty well when I placed him on the floor, so passes the stand test. And now let's attach this second arm, which is actually just the flame gun. So there you go. He can torch baby faces, I guess, and rip their throats out with his cyborg hand. Very cool. I do like the posing. I will say a couple of the joints are really super stiff, but a couple of the other joints are super loose. So I guess that makes up for it. Anyway, I guess we're coming up with a new scale today, the Masters of the WWE Universe scale. And on that scale, since I have nothing else to compare it to, it's my favorite wrestler. It came with a cool little booklet. It came with interchangeable arms. I kind of like it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Up next, we have a new Jeff Hardy. And the reason I bought this one is because my current one doesn't have any face paint. So this is going to be a face paint Jeff Hardy. And it also looks like his Willow persona that he may or may not bring back when he does or doesn't join AEW. So we're going to open this up today, and we're going to check it out. But first, let's see where it came from. It came from, oh look, a Series 125 that includes Isaiah Swerve Scott, first time in the line, who's fired, Ember Moon, who's fired, Elias, who's off TV, The Rock, who is not an active wrestler, and Jeff Hardy, who's fired. Good job, WWE. Anyway, despite the depressing nature of this series, let's let this Jeff Hardy breathe. Here it is out of the box, and it's always important to remember that this is a basic, so it has fewer articulations. It did pass the stand-up test on the floor really well. Let's bring it in a little bit closer so you can see that face sculpt. I personally love it. I think it looks great. That face paint is amazing. I will say the all black from head to toe on this figure is a little bit disappointing. I wish they had put at least, I don't know, some white accents somewhere, maybe even on just the hands, but it is what it is. Taking a look at the back, it's just more of the same. All black, long sleeves. It does have his cool baggy pants and a cool like Hot Topic white belt there, but otherwise it is very, well, basic, because it is a basic. And on a basic scale, because I love the face sculpt and it does pass the stand test, my only criticism being that the head to toe black is kind of plain, but I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Next up, as part of the WWE Legends series, we've got Billy Gunn in his D-Generation X Best. This is actually from when they invaded WCW on the back of their quote-unquote tank. That was not a tank at all. But here he is with his helmet and some foliage on it. This is going to replace my current Billy Gunn, which I honestly didn't even realize until right now is actually compatible with my Titantron Live entrance. But this is a Jakks Pacific, And honestly, it doesn't look anything like him right now, so we're going to upgrade to this guy that looks a lot more like him and has the true effects, lifelike details in the face sculpt. Before we do, let's take a look at this packaging. We've got a picture of Billy on the side. Got a description of him on the back. There's a multi-time tag team champion, an intercontinental champion, and a hardcore champion. And this is part of a series with Rowdy Roddy Piper, Kevin Nash, and Junkyard Dog. Honestly, I don't plan to get any of them. But yeah, time to let it breathe. And here he is out of the box. I'll start by mentioning the nice WWE Legends backdrop. And it came with 2 extra hands. They're both open fists, whereas the hands that come on the figure are open palm. Let's take a look at this helmet, and that's some pretty cool foliage on there. I honestly thought that was going to be worse quality, but that's pretty cool. And it's got the big old DX logo right there on the front. Billy himself has a really good face sculpt. I'm pretty impressed with that. And his nice D-Generation X shirt. I think his hair actually still looks like that on AEW TV. But let's get these clothes off so we can see what the figure looks like underneath. Here he is without that entrance gear, and it looks like they just put him in his traditional Mr. Ass shorts and knee pads. He's got a ton of great articulations, being an elite figure. On the back there, we got the big lips. And yeah, I think this is going to be a great addition to my AEW collection, especially as he teams with his kids, Colton and Austin, as the Gunn Club. And honestly, he still looks like this. Like, this is an accurate figure for today, 20 years later. The man is in incredible shape. Given the likeness and the articulations, all these accessories and clothes, plus an extra set of hands, I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. I think my only criticism that would make it a little bit more perfect is if the hair was a little bit better. But that's really it. All the rest of these figures are going to be AEW, and we are starting out with Nia Rose, the Native Beast, and the second ever AEW Women's Champion. Of course, that means she's gonna come with a title belt. It looks pretty cool in the packaging, but I can already tell there's gonna be some issues with that face sculpt. Anyway, let's take a look at the back. This is part of Series 7 in the Unrivaled line, with Lance Archer, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, who are FTR, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, I think that's their 3rd set of figures, and of course, Nia Rose here. She's number 58 in the line, and it's time to let her breathe. As with pretty much all AEW figures, she passes the stand-up test with flying colors. Here is the belt that she came with. It is just another Women's Championship belt. I'm hoping to maybe get a TBS title belt coming up here soon. But taking a look at this figure up close, that face sculpt is pretty janky. And sometimes AEW does have a problem with their face sculpts. They turn out really weird. They just use weird facial expressions in most cases. And otherwise they look just like the people. But like, notoriously, a couple of the Young Bucks figures and of course the Riho figure all look like garbage. But the hair looks really cool. The headband looks really cool with that kind of tiger leopard print. We got some awesome tattoo work on the right arm here. We also have this really cool red handprint mark, some awesome knee pads, and some really nice boots. Taking off the entrance scarf, it looks like that, and it's basically a silk material, so it's really nice. Here's what Nyla looks like without it. Spinning her around to the back, we have an NR on this back kind of flap. No tattoos as we come around to the front. And yeah, not a lot of accessories. and a jankety face sculpt kind of bring it down a little bit, but otherwise it's a really nice figure, and I'm really happy to finally have Nyla in my collection. Another woman, that's nice. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. We're moving over to the AEW Unmatched collection with number 12, Wardlow. I'm really happy to finally have Wardlow in the collection. We're going to be able to pretty much complete Pinnacle now, and it looks like he does come with an extra head and an extra set of hands that appear to be closed fists, which is perfect because that's what he's doing in his picture right there. Spinning him around to the back, and this is part of Series 2. That includes Ty Conti, Ortiz, and Santana, Proud and Powerful in their second appearance, I believe. Wardlow here, MJF, and Sting! Bringing this back around to the front, it's time to open this up and let him breathe. Here he is out of the box, and he looks awesome. But we're going to start with the extra face sculpt, which is kind of a serious Wardlow face, and the camera doesn't seem to be picking it up that well, but it is a really, really good face sculpt. I'm very impressed. I also like the man bun on the back. Here are the 2 closed fist extra set of hands, but let's get looking at the figure. The camera's finally picking that up, and I hope you can see how good that face sculpt looks. Moving it up here because he doesn't have any tattoos to really show off. We have really cool, what looks like bears on his singlet. And then he's just got plain black knee pads and boots. On the back it says Wardlow. And this head sculpt also has a man bun. He already passed the stand-up test with flying colors, again just like all AEW figures. I will say, I'm not quite sure what the difference is supposed to be between the Unmatched and the Unrivaled collection. Specifically, is one supposed to be better than the other? I'm not totally sure. They seem to be about the same quality to me. I'm not sure if I've seen a difference really in the amount of accessories, for example. So yeah, I'm gonna pretty much grade them on the same scale. And accessories would pretty much be my one gripe with this figure. It looks really cool. We do get an extra head and some extra hands, but nothing else really. Although, to be fair, I can't really think of what else Wardlow's synonymous with. Anyway, with that deduction, I'm going to knock it down to an 8 out of 10. We're going to be adding another big man to the collection with Lance Archer, number 53, as part of Series 7. I already have a custom Lance Archer, but it's nowhere near as good as this one. Taking a look at the packaging, I already can tell I'm gonna love this figure. Let's spin it around. And yep, this is part of that same Series 7 that Nia Rose was part of. Bringing it back around to the front. It doesn't look like there's any accessories, so that might cost it a few points, but let's let it breathe. Here he is, the Murder Hawk Monster, and one thing that immediately stuck out to me is how tall the figure is. Just for comparison, he is a solid inch taller than the Nia Rose in this series, and that's pretty accurate to how he is in real life, so you gotta love that. Let's bring him a little bit closer to the camera, and check out that face sculpt. That looks just like him, in my opinion at least. I do wish there was maybe not a screaming face or that it came with a second head, but that's nitpicking. Spinning it around, the tattoo work is amazing, especially when we get to the back. That tells me I can't wait until they make a Malachi Black figure. I wonder if they'll put that in the same series as the Andrade figure. Spinning him back around to the front though, let's take a look at his bottoms. It says Murder Hawk Monster. We got some cool skull logos with what I believe are mohawks. We got the LA logo. I'm guessing he's from maybe LA. And then finally coming back here, I just wanted to show off the braid. That is really, really cool. And we'll kind of spin that around so you can get a full appreciation of that awesome braid. Yeah, overall, this figure is amazing. Definitely one of the best AEW figures I've seen in a little bit, but there's no accessories. There's nothing else to it besides just he's a new guy in the line and the figure's great. So I'm gonna knock it down a little bit, but I'm still gonna go 9 out of 10. Finally today, another unmatched. This is number 13 as part of that same series too. We have Tay Conti. I have loved Tay Conti since she appeared in NXT a number of years ago. They ruined her down there. I was so happy when she came to AEW, and they are finally using her correct. This looks like it's gonna have an extra head, which probably has different makeup and hair. I'm really excited to see the detail work on all that. Spinning around the box. Again, it's part of that same series 2 that we looked at earlier. But here she is entering on Dynamite with her gold gi. We'll spin that back around and let's let her breathe. Here she is out of the box. She easily passed the stand test as I thought, but my first criticism is I wish they had given me different hands, because honestly, her personality does not lend itself to 2 closed fists. I want to make her wave. She's so happy. But speaking of that, let's take a look at this face sculpt. That looks just like her. Gotta love that smile. We also got that nice patch of glitter in the hair. And I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick up on it too well, but the Tay Conti choker looks awesome. Before I continue on, let's just check out the other head. Honestly, this looks a lot more like Beth Phoenix, and I don't like the stern look on her, but this is the kind of all hair down look, as opposed to the figure, which has this kind of top knot ponytail there. But taking a look at the rest of her, she's got this awesome green outfit with some fishnet stockings on the bottom here, green knee pads, and just basic black boots. Look at that butt. I'm sorry, but Tay Conti has an amazing butt, and this figure really shows it off. It also showcases her really long, awesome hair. I love the detail work there. I just really like this figure. Again, I wish it came with some accessories, maybe some entrance gear like a gi, since you show it on the back picture. I don't really like the second head, and I really wish it had given me some extra hands. All of that takes an otherwise great figure and knocks it down to, let's say, a 7.5 out of 10. Alright, that's gonna do it for my holiday unboxing special. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at Optimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. If you haven't seen my review of AEW Winter is Coming, you can check that out right here. But until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.